we'll go on to what recently got announced. I think it got announced a couple of days ago. England's provisional Euro squad, 2024 Euro squad. Just have a little reaction to that because there were some controversial names left out. So we've got them here. Rashford wasn't named. Henderson, Reece James, who's recently come back. Sterling, Jadon Sancho. These are all left out. And then you've got players like Jones, who's gone in, who's probably... Like, that's someone who we were speaking about, like Smith Rowe and players like that should be maybe competing with to get in the squad. But Jones is in, Curtis Jones, Eze, Adam Wharton for Palace as well. They've all been named in. What are your immediate thoughts of the squad and the players who have been left out?
Yeah, I think Southgate gets a lot of stick because I think England's talent's so stacked at the moment that you're going to leave out some good players. Like, there's no way to please everyone. The only one on there for me that's absolutely criminal is Rashford. And I know he's had a poor season. But we're talking about tournament football here. And it's about moments. There's going to come a time in a quarterfinal or a semi-final where a game's tight. And because of the poor season he's had, he's probably not going in as a starter anyways if you take him. Otherwise, I think Rashford at his best is an England starter, and there's probably no conversation about that. But he's not been at his best. But you look at a game where there's 20 minutes to go and England need a goal. I don't think defenders want to look over and see Rashford coming on just because of the pacing behind, the ability he has to beat a man, the fact that he can just score from 30 yards out of nowhere. I don't think England have enough players like that. Obviously, you've got Foden, who's that kind of... I'm talking about players that can just produce a moment.
Yeah.
And in tournaments, you need that because...
Sometimes the team's not cohesive. They're not in sync with each other.
Exactly. It's not... club football, everyone's got their systems. Like Arsenal system is fluid, City system's fluid, and things work perfectly. In tournament football, obviously, you want to be able to dispatch some teams in a group and stuff, but you're going to get in the knockout stages where it gets tight. You're going to play either a top team, like if you play a France or a Germany or those teams, it's going to be tight anyways. But you might even play a lesser team, but because it's the quarterfinal, they just know as long as we don't concede here, we've got a chance. Against a team like that, I think you've got to be looking at, like, Rashford's got to be in there.
Did Grealish get named?
Grealish is in it. Yeah. So for whatever reason you want to give for dropping Rashford, it's the same thing for Grealish. They've both had suboptimal seasons. The only thing you could give Grealish is that he's still part of a City Premier League winning team. So having a poor season for them is not the same as having a poor season in a team that's struggling.
Yeah.
But
like, we look at Curtis Jones is in there. I know they're not the same position at all, but they're still, one's taking up a spot and one's not in the spot.
Exactly.
You could just easily switch them out.
And how many players?
He named 30.
You can't name 30 players in England and Rashford not be in there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I get it. It is mad. And to be fair, what you've just said has actually convinced me that prior to this, I was sort of happy with that because I thought he's been poor this season. I think
he's been poor, and I said...
But you do need a player that...
I was talking to one of my mates and I said, he has only himself to blame. Like, he, as much as I'm saying this and people will say this, he has to look at himself and say, he's had to have had a really poor season to be in this situation. Because off the back of last season where he scored 30 goals, was on fire, to now think a year later you're not even going to a major competition. When he's been to like a World Cup at 18 and 22 and like... When you start your career like that, you're not supposed to be 26 now and being left out. Like, you're supposed to be the main man in this competition. So he has to look at himself and say he's had a poor season, but I don't agree with it in the slightest.
He has to look at himself since it's been announced as well now and like think it can go one or two ways now. It can absolutely. He really needs to take it by the scruff of the neck and show everyone and prove to everyone why he needs to be in the England squad.
It could be what he needed, because I feel like he's had a underwhelming season, and I feel like there was never a point in the season where it clicked for him and he said, cool, I need to just turn this around. So maybe it's something this drastic he needed as a wake up, because I'm sure as bad as he's been, he probably had in his head, well, okay, I'll go to the Euros in the summer, there'll be something. I don't think he could have ever seen himself not being in a 30-man squad. So perhaps this is the time where he looks at it and says, okay, as good as I am, things aren't, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees whatsoever. I actually have to. So cool. Take all the anger, because he will be angry. Take all the anger out on the pitch. Like, Saturday, he's got a great chance this weekend in a cup final.
Yeah.
To straight away, do you know what I mean? Sign off and go on holiday and enjoy your summer.
Yeah.
And then come back and have a mad season. And because he's got all the ability in the world to do what he wants.
That's the thing. We know he's got the ability, so he needs to show it now with his work rate and also his attitude, his body language.
It's all of that.
These things make a big difference. You need to make a conscious effort to, on the pitch, look like you want to be there, look like you want to try it, look like you're happy with your football.
It's more that than anything else, because there's no question about what he can do when he's at it. It's just about getting his head in the right frame of mind to just perform week in, week out and have that drive to shut up the critics, basically, because all season he's had critics, and it's ended now with even the England manager basically being a critic of him.
Yeah.
And that will hurt, because I don't see who's going to play on the left for England.
It's going to be, I reckon it's going to be Foden, and then on the right it'll be sort of Saka, and then we might even go Palmer, Bellingham, Rice. That's generally what I think it will be. I think he'll put Foden out on the left. He done it the last friendly we played. Foden started on the left, and then Kane up top. But
yeah, I'm not.
You're not a fan of him on the left?
It's not that. Foden can play anyway. It's more, I think...
You want the direct?
I would... No, I prefer Foden as an attacking midfielder, because he's played there recently.
What, no Palmer?
What, would you say Palmer should start?
I think it's going to be...
I think he needs to be in the squad, and I think he needs to be part, like, genuine, like, not just there as a number.
I'd start that.
You go...
Do it in the two friendlies and see how it, or at least the first one, and see what the dynamic's like, because he's forced your hand. He has forced your hand.
He has been that good.
He's been so good, mate. He has been
that good.
And Foden can start on either wing and float about and do what he wants.
And like I said, Rashford's season means that he can't be a star for England anyways. It's not like I'm sitting here saying he should go there and start. So even if he's in the squad, that doesn't really change what you're saying there about what he'll do. But I just think that option has to be there, because it's not even like you're looking... Yes, okay, he's going to play Foden there probably, or something like that, but...
You'd prefer... He's more of a different... to come on instead of
dynamic.
Like Grealish, do you know what I mean? He's similar to a Palmer or a Foden.
It's like... Look, Grealish gets a lot of stick, and I rate Grealish highly as a footballer. He's a very good footballer. But if you're a fullback, if you're a right back, and there's 20 minutes to go in a cup game, and you're leggy, and they need a goal, and you see Grealish coming on, I don't think I'm
more scared of Rashford.
You're not as
I am.
If you see Rashford coming on at that time, you're thinking, God, he might lose the ball 3 times, but then the 4th time he's put it top corner, or he's absolutely ran past you and cut it back for someone. Like,
I think as a defender, if it's me defending, I think I could be. It sounds bad, but I could be embarrassed more by Rashford here, and the goal be my fault. Whereas Grealish gets it. Probably not going to beat me 1v1. If he does, it's going to be like a couple passes through.
Exactly.
Like it's going to be combining.
With Grealish, you're probably
on me.
100%. You're probably thinking, okay, he's a top player, so he can start a play here.
Yeah.
But I can make sure this is not my fault. I can make sure that.
And in them big games where the pressure's on, that's what you're thinking as a defender.
That's what you're thinking. You don't want to be that guy that sent your country home. And then in that process where you're saying, okay, let me just make sure it's not my fault, you're hoping other people do their job and the goal doesn't come. Whereas Rashford can literally make it your fault.
Yeah.
And I just think he had to be an option. But everyone else, Sancho's obviously been really good in the later stages of the Champions League. But
I wouldn't put him in.
So late.
There's better players than him at the moment. Henderson, obviously I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy, but I can understand why he's out. That. James and Sterling, I can understand why they're out.
James is not fit. Sterling hasn't had a great season.
And then I'm actually happy that I'm buzzing he's put Eze in, and Adam Wharton has been top. I don't think he'll make the in the squad,
he'd probably be one of the ones that get dropped out. How many get dropped out?
So he's 30, at least 4. Might be more though. He said because you don't want to take people who are not going to be not even be named in the squad during the
there's no point just taking like
during the tournament.
Because you're only allowed 23.
Yeah, he don't want anyone to not be on the subs during the tournament and have to say right, you're not even involved in the squad.
But he's going to have that, isn't he?
No, I think he's.
How many are you allowed in the squad?
I don't know. I think you can have 26, but I think
can you have 26 on a match day?
No. That's what I mean.
So he's gonna have probably 23 on a match day.
So I think that's what he said he's gonna name.
23.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I believe he said he's gonna cut it down to everyone who's he takes out there
is gonna
be on the bench.
Yeah. Fair enough, because I get why. So there's gonna be some names dropping out.
Yeah, but fair play.
A lot of names.
He's given the true reasons why. Like Henderson's, he said he's not really fit. He's not up to the fitness levels at the moment because of his injuries, and for what he gives you, like off the pitch, you still have to have him producing on. Same with Rashford. He's come out and said he's just not performed high enough. So
yeah,
fair play,
think,
mate.
like I said, he gets stick, and I think he gets more stick than he deserves. I just think that Rashford argument, you could say the same for Grealish, exact same for Grealish, who's in the squad in terms of performances this season.
Again, it's just the everything off the pitch. With
Also,
Rashford
Luke
probably,
Shaw's in the squad, no?
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was. When was the last time he played?
Yeah, but
So, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the argument. It suits one person, but it's like you could ask the same question to someone else.
Listen, he's got a hard job, and
he's got a tough job.
Reece James come on, didn't he? He got like 30, 40 minutes
the other day.
Great assist. Like,
it's hard. Like I said,
I think he's very up in the air right now of who he wants to pick. Like,
the right back position is far more stacked than the left back position, so I can see why he's thinking if Shaw's fit, I have to pick him.
Yeah.
As a right back, he's got Kyle Walker who play.
Trent,
anything that happens to him, Trent who can play. Do you know what I mean? So it's like Trippier's in the squad. So it's like he doesn't have to take Reece James unless he's not in a position where he's got to just throw Reece James in, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
As good as he is, Reece James has got to look after himself this summer and have a good season next year where he plays football. And if he plays football, he's probably the best of the lot.
He is the best of the lot if he plays football, definitely, in my opinion.
Yeah, so...
Listen, I'm looking forward to them friendlies though, just to see where we're at, see what he goes with, and I'm looking forward to it. Good vibes going into the Euros. I think we've got a great chance.
Definitely got a great chance. But that, I don't know, man. That Rashford thing,
that's
triggered me, just because I thought it just don't make sense.
Not even in the provisional. I get it. Like,
it's mad, and I just think in this tournament, you've seen so many teams win tournaments where someone who had nothing to do with like the tournament played a big part in one game, and I think he could be that kind of player that he does nothing, like he doesn't even play group stages or whatever, but then quarters you need him and he comes on or even scores a free kick or something. Like, he's got so much about him that could win England games. But look, I get it.
It's also sending a message though that listen, you can't just
I agree, no matter who you are, because names wise, he's other than Kane, Bellingham, he's his bigger name, English name, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's been left out. So it's proof to everyone else that, look, it can happen to anyone. So club football is very important if you want to be considered.
Big summer for Rashford. Big summer, big season. Come with a different attitude.
If I'm
That's
him,
what I'd say.
All that anger's getting taken out this weekend on City. Yeah. I know he's up against it because City will be favourites, but
this will be a good sign this weekend.
It's a one-off game to go and show that. First and foremost, his attitude's got to be different. His body language. That's the easiest thing to fix, in my opinion. I think as a player...
I don't think it is the easiest. I think you build habits of that.
Of course you build habits. I understand what you mean. But I think, like, obviously, as a player, I can see that some days things might not tick for you. You might not get chances. You might not get service that you want, especially as a forward. Or your finishing might be slightly off for whatever reason. But there's no excuse to not run. There's no excuse to not press.
No,
like, you're fit. Do you know, that's the only reason why sometimes players struggle. You're fit. You play, for Man United week in, week out. You're fit. So everything's just a decision in your mind. Do I want to run? Do I want to press? Do I want to tackle? Do that. And that takes that takes away 50% of the game. Straight away now the fans are on your side. You get some momentum from the fact that you're doing
work
so true, team. And then the rest sometimes falls in place. So
this weekend will be a big indicator of where he'll be in the next couple of years. I think how we respond to it.
Definitely, because if he goes the other way, then there's probably
this is your bet. Yeah.
Then you could that gives you a sign as to what he's going to do next season. Yeah.
Well, listen, Ken, we'll leave it there, mate. That was a good chat, and listen, we'll see how he does turn up this weekend, Rashford, and we'll keep a good eye on the Euros friendlies. Yeah.